Hello, welcome to another Ralph Fanshawe video. Here we have a Land Rover start motor. So I'm back on with Land Rover stuff at the minute. Now, this is one that I've had for quite some time, which I've stripped and rebuilt. And I've got another one here, which as you can see here is all in parts basically. And we're going to have a little look at that. So, but before I go any further with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this one. Now, I've already cleaned it all up and greased all the bearings up. And I'm going to go from there. Now, the reason that I took this apart was because essentially it was very, very slow to turn the engine over. Now, on this particular Land Rover, it's now gone, but I found that it was, I thought it was the battery, fiddled around with that, and it didn't make no difference. And in the end, I changed the starter motor, and it was, made it a different Land Rover. And that's always a key factor. Anyway, if ever you've ever had to do anything like this, or it's quite handy to sort of kind of know. So that's what we're going to show you. So what I'm going to do is get some more tools, which I haven't got yet. So as it happens, in my bench here, I have got a battery. So we're going to use that to jumpstart, or to see if this makes a difference to this battery. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to have a little look at this one that we've got in parts, as we already mentioned. There's a bit there I missed, so I can just dig all the crap out of that. So the Land Rover that this came off of, it was a Land Rover 90, it was a 300 TDI, and the bloke had been off-roading it a lot, so the amount of like brown sandy mud that was in there was quite profound, as they say. So and really I didn't jet wash it or do anything like that. I just basically have dug out all the crap and cleaned it up with WD-40 and the like, which is one way of doing it, as I say. Now let's have a look at this. So the negative can just go on here basically. Now, another thing I should really do before I get too overzealous with it is probably clean this bit up, because this bit here is the metal part, and you want the earth piece to be as clean as possible, really. But it should earth okay through there, so put that on there like that. Now in here, I'm just probably going to be a bit naughty, but I'm just going to push that to there. And connect my negative to that. Like so. Then my positive lead is going to go to that terminal there. So essentially that's normally sat on the side of the starter motor, as we see here, like so. And that one there is the positive, and then this one is what basically once the starter motor is turning, it's connected to the, I've forgotten the name of them, but yeah, to the bits on the back of the starter motor. So we put on positive terminal on. So it's up to this point that nothing's going to happen, and it's only when you put a positive to the little blade on there, which is when it will start to turn. Now you can do this with a screwdriver, but I'm going to try it with a piece of wire if I've got one in my van. So because I'm always mucking about with things, I've got this nice little setup. So I've got a little crocodile clip, so that can go on here. So we'll connect that to the blade. Ooh, there you go, it's starting to go. Obviously I'll short it out then. So what we're going to see how quickly this will turn. Sounds okay. It's difficult to say until it's on the vehicle to know whether it will be turning over quicker or anything like that. But that works nicely. It fires the gear out, the starter cog out nice and quickly, and spins lovely. So sounds a bit kind of, not, I wouldn't say graunchy, just a bit rough. But the problem is this here, I never took all this apart. and obviously there'll be bearings and stuff like that inside there and all inside here. And I would imagine you might even be able to get all of this new from Bosch itself, because there is a specific part number on there. But for now, I'm just going to leave that as is. And what we're going to do is we're going to put all this one back together. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to disconnect the battery. We'll put these to one side. I'm happy with that, because what I'm going to do within the next couple of days, I'm going to put this on to the 90 project, and then basically I can actually look to get that thing running. Also had problems with the because it's the time of the year, it's cold and wet and icy. We had some problems with the outside tap, so I had to rescue me copper pipe from where I had it in the locker at work. So I'll put it, so might as well leave it here now, so just trying to find a space for it. And as with all these things, you know, you outgrow these spaces quite quickly, and of course I've outgrown this excessively quickly. I've got nowhere to put anything, but the dream is to have a big workshop with an acre yard, so just going to have to keep working towards that goal. But yeah, anyway, I digress. That other star motor, I took this piece off of here, and I pulled the all this magnetic piece out of the middle of the start motor. So I'll show you how to do that now. This is what I quite like about a snap-on screwdriver specifically, is that they have the ability for you to be able to put a spanner on it. So all you simply can do is with this, it's just, oops, without that happening, probably go like that. Put the weight on it, so you can push down, except for it's not going to do it this time. It's going to round that one off. And undo it like that one. So that one undid nicely, but this one to the front here looks like it might be ready to give me a good day, as I say. Right, little hammer. Hammer in the drift always goes a long way. As I say, if in doubt, give it a clout. Now this works to shock the bolt as well. So if you've got like a seized bolt, sometimes just giving it a whack on the head like that helps quite much, quite a lot. Oh yeah, just undid it straight away. So this C-clip here basically will push off or slide off of it. What I need actually is more camera kit, so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Still, never mind. Something to make you fall asleep, eh? Right, so that now will come out like so. A lot of people will be like, "Oh my god, you've mullered it now." So basically, that's the middle of the start motor, and as we can see, actually it's quite rusty. So I'm going to give that a good old clean up with some wire wool or something like that. Now this piece on the end will come off, so we can give them a clout like that. And again, it's the age old, if in doubt, give it a clout. Now, what was that? So we can see all of the, I don't know what you call them. Someone in the comments might be able to tell me. But basically these pieces here, which act on this part of the star motor. So as that's spinning, basically, or that's what's making this spin essentially, all right? Actually doesn't look all that bad. It's pretty clean by comparison to the other one. That one was really dirty inside. But I don't know if you can see that very well looking in me. We have a little camera there to see where I'm looking, but basically this here is the internal pieces of the starter motor. Funny thing with videoing yourself doing stuff, well, one, it's bloody funny when you watch it back, and two, sometimes it can be an absolute pain in the backside, really, because by the virtue of the fact that all you want to do is just get on with it, and especially, you know, the way life is, you know, when you're one, when you're starting out, but two, you know, you've got a wife, you've got kids and all that sort of thing, and they all want to have a piece of it, you know, and rightly so, you know. But yeah, it's seldom that it's like you think, oh, I just want to get on with it, you know. And that's how I feel. I do feel like that a lot of the time. I just do want to get on with finding this bolt, and you know, and just the Land Rover. Like I say, my goal, and my own personal goal, was to get it running by August, but yeah, things just got in the way, which is a bit of a shame, but we'll get to it, you know. That's the thing. You see a lot of people that do end up giving up on their projects because it becomes, life just does get in the way of everything, you know, that you want to do. And doing this is what I really enjoy doing, and I'm sure there's a whole host, loads and loads of people worldwide that enjoy doing the same thing, you know. And the satisfaction you get from rebuilding Land Rovers or cars, classic cars, or motorbikes, or classic lorries, tractors, all of these things, you know, such a source of satisfaction that you get from it that you know, is brilliant. But yeah, always remember my dad wanted we would go to steam rallies, and my dad would you know, be showing us around all the classic tractors and things like that, because he really wanted one. Anyway, eventually he did get, well, he's had loads of tractors since we've all grown up and left home, so you know, there's hope for us all yet. Anyway, but I'm doing this, so you know, I'm actually one stage ahead, really. But I need to find this little bolt, which is an annoyance, because I won't be able to show you how to put it all back together again. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to show you the most difficult piece. I can always find that bolt and put it in a later date. Right, let's carry on cleaning. But the one thing I would say is that knowing what you want to do, so for instance, the younger viewers, and probably, you know, I know, looking at the analytics of everything, of all these YouTube videos that I've done and do, the analytics show that actually, or the demographic, if you like, if that's the correct terminology, is the same age as me. And I'm 45 now, and so yeah. And the point I was trying to make is that a lot of people, you know, leaving school and things like that, and even now, I was listening to a bloke. Basically, to do an apprenticeship is like so difficult because of the health and safety laws that we now have, and you know, which is sort of, well, it's crazy really, but and it's quite sad really, because anybody that sort of kind of wanted to do this, then they're sort of kind of missing out a bit really. They still can do it, of course, you still can get into it, but the one thing I would say, which is what I was going to say, was that you know, part of the reason why me and my brothers ended up having this interest was that, you know, our dad had the interest, and it's that mentorship in the lives of younger people that give them the interest, if that makes sense, you know. And essentially you kind of get born into it, you know, as weird as it may seem, you know, you're born into these things. So yeah, interesting sort of concept, if you like. I don't think there's many people that would actually go into being a mechanic for a living that haven't been exposed to it in some way before. In my mind, anyway. Should be wearing my goggles, really. It's a funny old game, that's for sure. See if we can get this inside of here. So essentially I'm just running the old wire wheel, up and down inside here. I really need a petrol compressor, because my garage doesn't have any electric. So I probably could install the electric, but this is a garage I rent, and it's you know, it's part of a block, so and it doesn't have electric. But I'll see more on that later, as I say, later on in life. Right, so now what I'm going to do is put this back together, essentially. So on the edge of here, I'll show you what it's like now. So you can see all the bits have come out, where the all those pieces inside there should be in each like location like that. Okay, now here's how I'm going to put it together. Here's how I did it before. So first of all, I'm going to check that they're all nicely lubed in their carriers. They actually that pieces look pretty worn out, to be honest. It's a bit like a brush box, so the brushes, if you like, of the Star Mower, which is what it is, they're actually a little bit worn on this, and they were a bit worn on the other one that I looked at, but it's what it is. Okay, yeah, so they all locate in there. So where's the bit? There it is. In fact, just go on that a little bit, or at least try and show you. What I need to do is get some of them Meta, or those glasses that basically are a video, not a video, a camera. So they're a camera that you essentially have on. So you it's like a point of view pair of goggles, if you like, or glasses, and what it happens is that it videos exactly what you're looking at. So quite handy for doing this type of stuff, and you can actually see exactly what I'm doing, because really all you're going to see is just me fiddling about with something, and you're like, what on earth is that chap doing? And then if your missus comes in and looks at it and it's like, what on earth are you watching? And then you say, well, it's interesting. Or you say, I'm trying to go to sleep. One of the two. Right, so try and get that in like that. A bit awkward. Oh. Now, it's very awkward to do this, to be fair. What did I do before? It wasn't like this. In fact, I know what I did. I got an extension and put it in like that. Now, of course, I haven't rehearsed any of this. I've just done it before. Thought, that's easy enough to do. And then left it at that sort of thing, you know. Put a bit of grease on there. Right, so that's that bit done. Put back together. Now for the front half to go on. Now you've got to be careful at this point, because you've got to make sure that this all lines up. So essentially, looking at it, where that wire goes, that's going to go like that. You can't actually get it all that wrong, I don't think, because there's a recess in it. There's a recess there, which goes into here. There you go. Clean up the bolts. I actually really like the 300 TDI engine, just because it's so basic. I actually prefer it, and I know it's the jury's out for which one is the better. And I don't think there's that much in it. However, I just, for me, I like the old school 200 TDI engine, but the 300 TDI is just something about it. It's just so much, just that tiny bit more refined and that tiny bit more simpler to work on. You know, the fact that it's got where the water pump where it's located and things like that, and I really like that. Whereas with the 200 TDI, those of you who know, I'm sure, you have to take the water pump off, and that's fine. But you know, I just think it just adds more work to the job. You know. So yeah, that's my opinion on that one. Just clamp that a bit. Get the ratchet. So this was the one that actually did have a bit of problem with it internally, not that I could see, but basically the when it was on the vehicle, we used to sort of grunch and make a lot of funny noises. This was on my 110 when, you know, which unfortunately I've sold now, but I'm on the lookout for another one. Because I had that 110 before I had a YouTube channel, and I didn't get to restore it or video much of me restoring it. I'll just give it a little tap, just make sure they're tight and it's fully at home. Yep, okay. That's in there. Right, now the solenoid. So we've got this rubber piece which goes in that way. That will sit in there like that, nice and simply. That needs to sit like that. Now, you can't actually lube these up, or you can't get internally. These rubbers are don't seem to want to come off very easily, so they must be, the way that they're put on, there must be a reason for it. However, this does feel quite sticky, so I'm going to just pierce a very small, or see if I can peel a little bit of it back. There you go, that'll do. And now I'm going to put some WD in there. WD-40 is brilliant because must be used everywhere. Obviously there are other makes out there. I'm not endorsed by WD-40 unless they want to come and endorse me, but maybe I ought to go and see them. Oh yeah. Now that's lovely. Now that was it. So there is a way this will go on. You can get it opposite way round, because it will go that way or it will go that way. And essentially there's a piece, the bit that pushes the gear out, which engages with the flywheel, is on a plastic piece, and that just sits on the top of it, which is located in here. So it will go that way or it will go that way. But this wire, that's basically where the battery wire will go, and this wire will connect to that one, because you can see that that's the way it's connected. The only downfall with these is that they're all black, so you can't actually see. If you're in a dark workshop like what it's getting now, or starting to lose the light a little bit, you know, this, if you have like a nice day glow coloured handle or the silver tip, you'll be able to see it. You with me? You with me? Funny what I was saying. That'll go on there like so. Then we'll be ready to test it. Which I'm quite looking forward to, if I'm honest. We've got a 13, isn't it? Yes. Don't have to be like massively tight, but as long as it's on there. Right, now then, where's my jumping lead? So we'll have the positive on there. We'll have our negative on there. We'll have a negative on here. We'll have a positive on that one. So normally black to black, red to red, and then we'll use this wire, connect it like so. We'll see. That sounds nice actually. Sounds better than the other one. I'm going to put a bit of grease on here. So my next Land Rovers, well, it's definitely going to be a 110 wagon, 110 station wagon. That's what I'd like. The 90, going to build that back up, and I've been thinking a lot of that lately. That I've always wanted a 130 double cab pickup, but then I was thinking, well, do I actually need one? I mean, it's not a case of needing one because we all love what we love, if that makes sense. So so we'll see. I mean, the cost of a 130 is that bit more expensive. So yeah. But anyway, 130 double cab pickup. I mean, having the pickup makes a massive, it's quite a handy thing to have. But internally, the cabin, you can't really, there's not much space in there. Whereas a 110 station wagon, you've got all the space and a bit of load space. So I don't know. And if you mated that to a a military trailer, for instance, a Penman or a Sankey trailer or something like that, and basically you've got probably more load carrying capacity than a 130, but equally as fun, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's I've got to keep saving, and eventually they'll come. But the next video I'll have out, which will be me. Well, what I'm going to do now is look for that bolt. Then I'm going to fit this on, and I'll video that, and then we'll see the engine turn over. Also, I want to, before I start bottling it all back together, is obviously got to connect the fuel pipes, which I'll do in time, video that, and I've also got to do the head gasket. There's nothing wrong with the head gasket on there, but what I stupidly did before was I trapped one of the heater plug wires on there in between the head and the block. Well, at the time I thought, knickers to it, and just left it. So I'm going to put that right. Hopefully it hasn't knackered the head. It might have done, but we'll see. And then go from there. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.